Sorry for the late drop in here, but joining you now here in the commentary booth, I am Kame Senin, and here we are on our way through the first round, well, the first match of round 3 in the bottom bracket of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. We got Charlieboy on the left, of course, and Zneip on the right, both having completed 3 Robot Master stages. We got LV Creed, of course, handling the tracking for us, doing a wonderful job. Thank you very much, Creed. So on the right-hand side here, we got an airman that's throwing bees like crazy at Zneip while he's just dishing out the damage. Very, very simple boss fight, despite the conveyor belt. Charlieboy on the left here, going for the item 1 zip on heat stage. Looks like he's got it, no problem. Nice little pause buffer to reach the platform, and he's on his way. He's got some fat fans to deal with that seem to be Buster immune, our favorite type. But he's through the first hard part of the heat stage, and Zneip going on into the Flashman stage. He's hopefully going to pick up an E-Tank on his way through there. Charlieboy going for some item 3 strats here. Let's see it. Oh, beautiful zip. Beautiful zip on Charlie's side there. He's just got the big pit pretty much to deal with at this point, but he's got item 2, so it shouldn't be a problem. Looks like he's got plenty of energy in that thing too, so this should be good, and it is indeed. The Charlieboy's going to be going on to the boss room here to figure out just what boss is hiding in the Heatman stage. Meanwhile, Zneip going into the latter half of the Flashman stage here, gonna see if we can get that E-Tank. He's gonna get the big health, good move there, and of course, health is instant refill, unlike the original game, which is such a lovely quality of life addition. But we got us a Bubble Man in the Heatman boss room, very ironic, and apparently has Buster as a soft weakness. Zneip, unfortunately, not quite able to come up with that E-Tank, but making it through the stage. Very, very good position here, health-wise, practically full. Just about any boss should be handleable here. And we got Quick Man. Let's see, how jumpy is he? Looks like he's, yeah, he does. He jumps high and he goes off. Oh, wow, he got stuck in the tiles there for a second. That was interesting. You don't see that every time, but you do see it every now and then. But, yeah, another decently easy boss there. No problem. Going on down. On the Charlieboy's side here, picking up the extra life in the E-Tank here on the Quick Man stage. Getting through them first series of lasers, no problem. And we've got indescribable chickens here. I don't know what this sprite is, but I know that this is the chicken enemy here. And looks like Charlieboy's just gonna buster them on down. Nice. Zneip now into the Woodman stage. Now, I'm not familiar quite off the top of my head with just what weapons are obtained at this point, but item 2 and item 3 are in tow, so we'll see what's going to happen here. I don't know if there's going to be a good wood zip or not, but we'll see after the apparently cats that are usually the hot dogs, as we call them, but we got hot cats here going down with 1 leaf shield. Very, very nice. Charlieboy threw them lasers onto the final room here, and not really finding much in terms of enemies, so we're just going to go straight into the boss room. Zneip going for the good wood here, using that item 3, taking that bonk on the tin can. That's a hefty bonk. It costs quite a bit. I don't know if they need to heal or not. I don't personally do good wood, so I'm not 100% familiar with the process, but Charlieboy making very quick, easy work of Metal Man. Actually, a really good room to fight Metal Man in is the Quick Man boss fight room. Metal Man is surprisingly simple when he doesn't have a conveyor belt. We'll just leave it at that for now. Oh, here it is. Zneip getting it. That was it. That was the zip. No need to waste an E-Tank. Despite that tin can, on into the boss room. Charlieboy in the Airman stage, dealing with tin cans again. Tin cans on the Airman stage. They're not the worst enemy that you can find, especially if they're only one shot, which of course they're not here. But they can be a little time consuming because some of them, depending on what you're equipped with, you have to stop often and wait, and it's not very much time that's lost per tin can, but it is time lost per tin can. It can add up a little bit. It's if nothing else, it can make a runner a little nervous. But on through the first part of that and ready to go tackle the second one as Zneip enters the Heatman stage, finds Metal Blade to use against the Fan Fiends there. Very good. That's a nice weakness to have for them too, since they can be positioned above or below you so very often. You know, having a weapon you can aim like that with a little verticality make a huge difference. Charlieboy coming into the last bit of the Airman stage here. Just some Metroids, nothing too unusual. Another tin can, maybe two. Yep, there we go. Ooh, good pause buffer there. That could have been a death. That was a very good pause buffer there. Zneip going for the item 1 zip in Heat stage, but just not quite able to come up with it, opting to use Flash instead. Ooh, almost missing that jump. Ooh, here we go. This isn't looking good. Oh, that's gonna be a death there on Zneip's side. Unfortunate, but you know, these Buster immune Fan Fiends, they are a problem. They're constantly blowing you to the left, and there's all this platforming going on, and you can pause buffer a little to try to make up the difference, but the amount of lag that is or is not present can make all the difference in the world and just make those pause buffers impossible to pull off the way that you need to. Zneip trying to hit that Fan Fiend while Charlieboy's going for that item 1 zip on the left and getting it on Crash stage. Very good. But yeah, unfortunately, Zneip threw the Metal Blade and paused, which traditionally you can't pause with a projectile on the screen, but in the randomizer you can. What it does is it removes the projectile, so unfortunately he wasn't able to kill that Fan Fiend the way he was going for, but made it through the first part, item 1ing over everything, skipping those Yokus and getting into the next part here. Charlieboy, having taken the optimal death and skipping a good chunk of the Crash stage here, is into the Crash climb now. I'm going to use item 2 to assist here and there, while Zneip is using item 3 on the right to set up the zip for the second part of Heat stage, and gets it. So now it should just be a simple item 2 over the gap, and should be on our way to victory over the Heat stage, where of course we'll find Bubble Man in the boss room. Charlieboy still opting to use that item 2 to assist his climbing, and doing it very skillfully, I might add. Some very, very nice item 2 placements on the way up this incredibly long climb, and some good pause buffers. Excellent reaction there to that shrimp. Gonna pick up the free tank. A little bit more item 2 action, and even swapping to the item 3 just for the extra little boost to hit the top of the ladder immediately. Meanwhile, Zneip, facing Bubble Man in the Heatman room, was searching a little bit for weaknesses, but wasn't able to come up with one, but thankfully Bubble Man is soft weak to the Buster this time around, so no big deal. Bubble Man is down. Zneip is on to their 8th Robot Master, which is also Crash Man. I'm going to go on a limb here. I missed the beginning of the race, obviously, because I wasn't here, obviously, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that they're doing probably the same route here. And before I could even finish that thought, Woodman in the Crash stage is already dead on Charlieboy's side. Charlieboy moving on to the Wily stages in under 17 minutes. Beautiful. Very beautiful thing. Zneip dealing with this Fan Fiend that's going to slow him down a little bit during the Crash zip thing here that we love to do, but getting through it no problemo. Taking the optimal death there, and moving on beyond those platform screens that we almost never see. Charlieboy is now in Wily 1, so I suppose it's time. We should probably go ahead and play our favorite game that we always love to play here, but when it comes to the Mega Man 2 Randomizer. We get to Wily 1, and we like to guess the color, the weakness, and even the style these days of the dragon as it comes up. So get your guesses out there in the chat if you got them. If you're right, you win a free Mega Man 2 Randomizer seed that you generate yourself. But that's what you get. No, no, it is a fun little game to play, though. I like it personally. I always have to go for Buster because personal bias. I'm gonna go for the Swaggin' Dragon because it's just I like rhyming. It appeals to me. And we're gonna go pink on the dragon. You see the color of the ladders there? I'm gonna say that pink, magenta. I don't know. I'm not great with colors outside the standard 7, but that color. Alright, here we go. Zneip coming into their final Robot Master boss fight. Gonna find Woodman in here. They're trying out Flash, finding it didn't really do anything. They're using the Crash Bomber. It's working alright. It's doing something there. When that sucker explodes, it's hitting repeatedly. Alright, very, very nice. Zneip is now through their 8 Robot Masters, as Charlieboy is approaching the dragon right about now. And we have an almost completely vanilla dragon. Wow. Is this even randomized? I mean, technically it's a little bit randomized, but barely. And looks like Charlieboy's just going to use those crash bombs since they're working. I mean, good strategy. If the first thing you find works, stick with it, go with it, just run with it, get out of that stage. Very, very good. Very, very well executed. Moving on to Wily 2 now. Zneip, of course, coming through the Wily 1 stage themselves. We've got just barely under an entire stage of difference between our runners here, which is, well, I mean, these aren't short stages, so it's a decent little lead, but at the same time, it's nothing that Wily 4 couldn't overturn. So we really can't do more than just guess loosely who our winner is, even at this point, even with a lead like this. But Charlieboy, of course, gonna capitalize on these refills and get some weapons back up to snuff here. Zneip making the climb, utilizing that item 3 to get them extra jumps on the way. Charlieboy, of course, going back to the Buster for this hallway and finding himself face-to-face with a Buster Immune Fan Fiend. Just what he always wanted, but he's going to find that Leaf Shield actually takes them out relatively well. We got Mets as well, so that's easy. Oh, and birds. Excellent, just what we needed. Birds. A lot of menuing in that hallway there to get through efficiently. Something you don't always see is that level of menuing required to get through. But Charlieboy, he's got the weaknesses of these basic enemies down pretty well, and he's making good use of them. He's definitely making good time through this stage. And now we're into the Pico Pico Trash Compactor fight, which, for anybody who may not have seen any matches so far this season, yes, we have invisible Picos, which we've had before, but the order in which they come out is also now randomized. So whatever pattern memorization you may have committed, it will do you no good here. But understanding how they work, you can still manipulate where they'll go, as Charlieboy's trying to do here. But now he's kind of lost it a little bit. He's gonna have to take that E-Tank. There we go. He got it. He got it. He's back on track. He's back on track a little bit. You can kind of manipulate them even though they're invisible and have a really good idea of where they're at. Just like that one there. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. And Zneip, of course, having no issue with the Dragon Boss and already moving into Wily 2. So this is what I mean when I say we're like just under a stage apart. This is still anybody's race at this point. This is honestly a lot closer than it looks, and like I was saying, Wily 4 could easily just decide that we have a change in lead, but we'll see. We're not there yet. It's too early for all of that. Zneip is coming down into the hallway from heck, but he knows about the metal blades against the fat fans, so we'll see. He's actually having a slightly faster jaunt down the hallway here. So that could actually be advantageous enough to pick up a little time and gain on Charlieboy a little bit. Charlieboy, of course, going through the spikes in what traditionally I would say would be Wily's septic tank, but we've got all this green everywhere. This could be radioactive, I'm not sure. Good thing we're technically robots, right? That's the lore here. I know Charlieboy's playing as Charlieboy, but he's a robot for this, so he'll be okay, right? I'm sure he'll be fine. Charlieboy coming in to the fight in Wily 3, traditionally the Guts tank. Zneip dealing with the invisible randomized Pico Pico. And Charlieboy gets the Technodrome, which apparently is Buster immune, so he's going to have to fish for a weakness going down the list, and he's finding Quick Boomerang to be the key here. Very nice. Very vanilla, but very nice, very convenient, especially for that particular boss, having to jump and mash so much. It's nice to have a weapon that you can mash so much. So, make nice quick work of that, and on into Wily 4, which is apparently going to be red hell today. It's normally purple, but we're randomized, so today it's red. We've got Lightning Lord already at the very beginning. Charlieboy going to use them item 3s to help step up the ladders a little bit faster and come up to our randomized false floors. Everybody's favorite. Ooh, he didn't quite, but he had the item 3. Let's see, is he going to get the boost he's going for? He's going to use item 1 for it. Okay. And he gets it, no problem. He's up at the top already of the next screen. Don't even have to play with those false floors, no risk of the spikes, nothing. Nice and easy peasy. Let's go. So, Zneip dropping down, getting ready to face the Technodrome in just a moment here. Charlieboy coming into the anxiety screens, all these spikes on the floor, these enemies on most of the screens, these pesky platforms, all this shenanery going on. Which is why we call it the anxiety rooms. Uh-oh. He placed the item 1, but he didn't quite get it. He opted to just wait for the platform. Probably a good strategy. Conserve that item 1 ammo a little bit. Very respectable. Things happen, you know. That was a good way to deal with it for sure. He's going to take the bonk on the telly and an extra one from the shrimp for good luck. And here we go. Into the bottom now. Zneip facing the Technodrome, also finding the quick boomerang to be the weakness there. Charlieboy going for the item 1 setup for the zip there, not quite able to come up with it, a little bit low on health, but those mechs apparently go down really easy compared to their operators that are at least 9 health, if not more right now apparently, because this is in fact randomized. I know we love to joke all the time, is this even randomized? It is even randomized. Alright, so here we go. We got the Boo Beam. Going to test metal on the boss itself and the wall. It's a no-go on both. Testing the Leaf Shield as well. It's a no-go on both. Time to figure out that wall weakness. There it is. Looks like Air Shooter is going to work for the walls. But it can't be the weakness for the Boo Beam Trap itself. That is now randomized to something specifically different from what the walls are weak to. And we're going to see Charged Heat as the weakness. An unfortunate weakness, but not really the end of the world or anything. It just means there's going to have to be another wall broken. All of the walls, in fact, are going to get broken on this attempt here. But, no problemo. Right on through. And as we can see, Zneip is on the anxiety screens as Charlieboy is getting out of the fight there. So I think Zneip did actually manage to catch up a little bit. Particularly over the course of Wily 2. But Charlieboy still maintains that lead coming into Wily 5, which is the refights, of course, and we're going to go counterclockwise, it looks like. Trying that air shooter on Crash Man, and using some very clever little pause buffer strats to reset the weapon so it can be fired again sooner. Now we've got the Flash Man fight. That Flash, of course, was Buster, soft weak to the Buster, so not too big of an issue there. Now we've got Quick, who I think also was, yeah, Quick is also soft weak to the Buster, so that's going to be easy. Fairly vanilla behavior, honestly. Like, it's a little different, but it's pretty close to vanilla. Zneip here is trying their hardest to figure out what to do with these crash walls. They found the charged heat weakness for the Boo Beam Trap itself, but, there it is. They've got it. They've got that air shooter weakness. The walls are down. I think Zneip's got this. It's a simple matter of just charging a few times and shooting. Oop! Didn't quite fully charge. And it's interesting when you, for anybody who doesn't know, when you fire a not fully charged heat shot, it actually technically counts as the same thing as Buster. In terms of damage tables, weaknesses, and all that. It counts as the same thing as Buster. Which is why it doesn't work on things that require it. Alright, so both our runners are onto the refights now, taking opposite routes through, both on the same boss, but don't be mistaken, Zneip is going clockwise on their first one, now moving on to their second. Charlieboy is on that final of the refights, and moving on to the Wily Machine fight. Getting that last little bit of weapon energy back before heading into it. And we can see it's not Buster weakness. But Quick Boomerang is going to work, and that is, well, it's about the same in terms of mashability. And both phases. It's going to work on both phases. Let's go. Charlieboy getting a little risky there for the weapon pickup, but worth it because I think they can skip the weapon energy in Wily 6 on the bottom left here because of that. Yeah, don't want to hug the machine too much. It gets scary really, really fast. So here we go. Charlieboy looks like they're going to go for the item 1 zip to the gate. Zneip still working through those refights, giving Metal Man the business with the Buster here. Well, Charlieboy didn't quite come up with the zip, so he's going to have to just foot it down Victory Road here. But no problemo. It's still a very, very short, simple stage, especially being on the right of the screen like that. No need to worry about them slimes or anything. And looks like what is this, Crash that he went to? I'm not sure, but we'll see in just a second here. Oh no, we've got a fish. A Mega Man 4 fish is the final boss. Alright, Charlie's going to be going through the gamut of the weapons and finds the wood leaf weapon thing to be our weakness. And Charlieboy manages to finish in first this race. I had my race time room up and I can't seem to locate my web browser. Bear with me here. There we go. Charlieboy finishes in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 29:37. Very, very nice. GG's to Charlieboy. Zneip, of course, dealing with the machine here. Going to opt to take an E-Tank and just continue blasting with that quick boomerang there. Right on through, no problem, on their way to Victory Road. Yeah, what a time indeed. What a time indeed, a 29:37. I mean, we always used to say anything sub 40 is solid. But this man just finished sub 30. Not the first sub 30 we've ever seen or anything, but oh man, anytime you see a sub 30, it's a heck of a run. Zneip also was trying for the item 1 zip to the gate and found themselves equally unable to come up with it. It's a little precise, not only in getting it to execute, but completing the execution. The follow-through is rather precise indeed, because if you fail to turn around in time to hit the door, you'll zip past it and soft lock, and that'll be the end of the run, no matter what. So perhaps it is sometimes a blessing when the zip doesn't come together. Zneip gonna fish, no pun intended, through the weapon list here to find the weakness. Not quite coming up with it just yet. Trying the air shooter out. Here it is. Here it is. They've got it. Alright, now it's just a matter of not getting shot too much, not hugging the fish, and there it is. Zneip is now also through with an official racetime.gg time of 31 minutes and 50 seconds. GG's to both of our runners. We're, of course, going to be getting them set up for the next race here. And we're going to take a brief little break here in between races. So this is as good an opportunity as any if you need to use the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack, stand up and stretch, whatever it is you need to do. Don't forget to take care of yourselves out there. But we thank you, of course, for coming and hanging out. And stay tuned for race number 2. are back, getting ready to let the runners loose in match 2 of round 3 of the bottom bracket of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. And of course, my name is Kame Senin in the commentary booth. We didn't have time to put the name up, and that's okay. Everybody butchers it anyway, and I love that. So we're gonna just run with it as is. Here we go. We got the countdown going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go. Looks like we have a little bit of desync. I don't know if that can be resolved or not. We also have a reset on Zneip's side. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but it's only costs a few seconds. Should be okay. We'll see. Charlieboy getting into the Airman stage first. Zneip getting into Metal Man. The stage names are of course hidden this time around, and this is just straight up orange Fanta going on right now on Charlieboy's screen here. We got a fairly orange character with kind of orange face, different orange hair or something, an orange sky. There's so much orange happening. It's wow. Both of our runners having a nice, so far easy first stage here. Zneip, of course, having a little bit of advantage in being able to grab an E-Tank early on. Charlieboy, of course, just going to have to make do as there is no E-Tank on the Airman stage, but it is what it is, and it's perfectly fine. He'll pick some up later. I think audio desync is strictly on the players, and well, there is a timer desync is more so what I was pointing out, but it's very slight though. It's okay if we can't fix it. It's close enough. We'll make do. Charlieboy finding Airman in the Airman stage. Is this even randomized? Well, it is because it's Hornet Man, so it's different. It's randomized. It counts. It's good. Charlieboy making easy work of Airman in the Airman stage. Zneip going into the Metal Man boss room now. As Charlieboy joins them in the stage, Zneip finding Woodman, a good old Donkey Kong fight here. Looks like Buster technically works. The conveyor's making it very difficult to sneak in there to get them free shots without taking damage as well, and contact damage is a little bit nasty, but I think Zneip's going to manage since they had the E-Tank to use for it. They're dealing fairly consistent damage per cycle here. It was close, but they're on through. They are on through, so let's see what number 3 is going to be. Number 3, it looks like they're going into Bubble Man stage here, where we're going to have brown as the backdrop. No more Fanta. Fanta was the Airman stage. Now we are in Root Beer stage. Ooh, Charlieboy almost getting knocked off that conveyor by that sneakily placed little shot man there. Them things are dangerous over ledges like that. But no problemo. He used that pause buffer. Very good strats there. Safety little pause buffer there to clear the gap. And Zneip going for the bubble zip. Pause buffering through the root beer, and they have made it far over enough, so they're going to get that zip. Pick up some time there. Bonk a bat and abuse some shrimp, and let's be on our way. Charlieboy finding himself now in the Woodman fight. We'll see how it's going to go down for him. Now, he does have another weapon to try, which happens to be the leaf weapon. It's not very effective. He's going to go back to the Buster there, and he's going to opt to stick rather close and just E-Tank abuse and bash that sucker down with the Buster. Very nicely done, Charlieboy. Zneip, of course, getting to the end of the Root Beer Man stage, and we're going to find Metal Man Metal Man is very easy to manipulate and try to jump over you by just getting close to him. But since this is a different boss fight room than he's used to, he just kind of jumped into the spikes and didn't go very far, and that looked a little advantageous, honestly. That was actually kind of nice. Zneip's going to move on to the Flashman stage. Charlieboy already heading on through the Woodman stage, coming down to the Hot Doggers, which are indeed doggos this time. Is this even random? No, everything's randomized. There's so much randomized in this nowadays, it's hard to even make the joke sometimes. But Charlieboy on through the Hot Doggos, no problem. Doesn't have any items, so not going to go for the good wood zip this time. So we're going to have to deal with the bamboo crossing, and I don't know what to really call that last little segment there, but traditionally you find chickens there, so I'm just going to call it the chicken screen. I don't know. But looks like a nice easy bamboo crossing here. We just got crabs and nothing else really going on. No major obstacles. Gonna have a nice easy time. Zneip, speaking of having a nice easy time, just using the quick boomerang to abuse these chickens in the end of the flash stage. Not getting the E-Tank again. A little unfortunate, especially after having to use the E-Tank on the metal stage, but it is what it is. We'll see what boss we come up with. And look! The chicken room! It is the chicken room, even in this seed. So, I wasn't wrong. Zneip finding Quick Man in the Flashman boss fight room. He's behaving a little vanilla, but oh, Zneip taking an unfortunate death there. That E-Tank would have saved everything. And Charlieboy getting through whatever fight that was before I could even glance back over at it. Good job, whatever that was. I legitimately did not catch it. I was so, like, enamored with Quick Man that I didn't even get there in time. He must have found the weakness. He must have found the weakness. Or it must have been Flashman. One of the two. Charlieboy is going to move in to the root beer float. That is Bubble Man stage. As Zneip is going into the Quick Man stage, which is excellent, because Zneip is going to be able to pick up a 1-up and an E-Tank here. Those are both going to come in handy later. Charlieboy doing them pause buffers, setting us up for that zip. Zneip carefully sticking to the right to make sure to get that 1-up and that E-Tank, just like that. And gonna move on to the next part. Charlieboy taking a bit of a bonk on the bat there. Not sure if that was intentional, but it at least provided protection from the spikes just in case of anything. Very nice, big health. Do that pause buffer on the damage. Let's go. Charlieboy is just going for it, just tanking the hits and pause buffering every step of the way, just to make sure he doesn't fall off, because that's about all that really matters, is that you don't fall off. Zneip dealing with the lasers that are only visually randomized, but their speed, of course, is not. It's always safe to get through. There were older versions of the randomizer years ago at this point, where the speed of the lasers actually was randomized, but it got so bad that it was, sometimes you'd have to do a pause buffer on the previous screen to ensure the proper vertical velocity to get through the screen, and even then it could be so tight that it was almost frame perfect. But here we go, we got Pikachu! Heatman Pikachu in the Quick Man boss room here. Unfortunately, missing with those crash bombs. Oh, there we go, that's a decent hit there. Zneip is looking real low on health here. They're going to have to turn something around here, and it looks like the explosion was just enough. Let's go. Zneip is through Quick Man, while Charlieboy is making his way on through Quick Man, heading to the big bunch of lasers here. Zneip moving into the Heatman stage, which has yellow lava. Maybe it really is Pikachu themed. Finding Froggos, which can quickly become a lagphibian situation. So far, so good, though. Just some Mets and some frogs. No big deal. Plenty of health to deal with all these things. Moving right along. Oh, yeah. Charlieboy in the bottom of the quick man stage now. Moving on to the boss room. Gonna take on Pikachu himself. Zneip does have item 2, but opting not to use it to skip the Yoku's. Gonna have to ride the Yoku's the vanilla way. There we go. Up and over and ready to try to get through this part. Now, we're not going to have the fancy zip that we saw in the last race, but we are still going to at least have item 2 for the big Yoku section, or well, Yoku's pits, whatever you want to call it, but the thing. And Charlieboy also finding Crash Bomb to work rather effectively against Heatman. There's Zneip getting that A-trigger zip on the Yoku block there, very nice. Skipping the most awkward Yoku in this whole game, I dare say. But gonna move on over here. Hopped on that item 2. Plenty of weapon energy. They're gonna get right across this pit, no problem. And scooping the one up on the way. Very nice. Charlieboy now dealing with the Heatman stage. Just opting to buster his way through and otherwise pause buffer, getting a little bit of a mess from the Lagphibians, but nothing too major. Just gonna keep on trucking right on through. No biggie. Now Charlieboy does have item 3. He was gonna try to set it up for skipping, having to go back to the left here. Unfortunately missed it. It is a tight shot. It is what it is. And we've got Bubble Man, I guess this is, in the Heat stage, who was really high jumping, but also oddly huggy. That was a little bit awkward, but no problem. Zneip is through, and Charlieboy we do get the fancy zip from because he's got the item 3 to make it happen. So there it is. Beautiful execution. He does not have item 2, so we're going to see if his Yoku strats are up to par here. They probably are. These Yokus, their position is not randomized, so this should be simple in theory, but any little mistimed anything, which we almost saw as I was saying it, could lead to death. But Charlieboy caught himself in time. He used the pause buffer effectively, and he cleared the gap regardless. Very nicely done. Zneip making his way through the orange Fanta of Airman stage. I don't know why I'm calling it Fanta other than the fact that it's orange. We're in the air, but, you know, apparently we breathe Fanta now, so welcome to the year 20XX. But Charlieboy dealing with a fairly laggy Bubble Man there, but again, because he's so huggy and jumps so high, it's actually really easy to manage him. You just move a little bit to the side and just score those shots every time he jumps. Easy peasy. Zneip getting through the first half of the Airman stage. Gonna move on to the second half and deal with its atrocities. As Charlieboy finally finds Flashman stage. Hopefully he'll pick up the E-Tank in here. I didn't see when Zneip was there if there was something that prevented grabbing the E-Tank, but we're gonna find out. Zneip taking care of these Shrek monsters. I don't know what else to call them. I'm just calling them Shrek. That's what they remind me of. That's probably what they're supposed to be, too. Moving on to the boss room, where we're gonna have Hornet Man, who is literally Airman. So, not even randomized. No, it's randomized. But, some sketchy patterns coming out there, but not too bad. Charlieboy dealing with these chickens here that are going to make this a little difficult, but he does have Leaf Shield. However, he wasn't able to come up with the jump in time and got knocked off the platform, so it is what it is. No item 3 for Charlie. I'm sorry, no item 3. He does have item 3. I'm looking at item 3 and saying it aloud. No E-Tank for Charlieboy from this stage either. Both of our runners getting ripped off of their Flashman E-Tanks. Unfortunate, especially with a boss like this, but Charlieboy did have an E-Tank to utilize, and he's still going to fish a little bit for the weaknesses. Meanwhile, Zneip was attempting to come up with the Crashman Zip, but having a little bit of difficulty going for the the friendlier RTA route of pause buffering to get all the way to the right. Now this one's interesting because as long as you make it all the way to that right wall, you will be zipping. It's kind of weird. You get around the need for the subpixel in that way, and that's very handy with such laggy rooms, especially like we have here in this case with this enemy setup. Looks like Charlieboy's going for the same type of setup. Very respectable. The subpixel can be hard to hit, and again, with all that lag, the timing of the turnaround and all that, it can get messy quick. It looks like both of our runners are able to come up with it. Zneip just now dropping down for the optimal death and skipping those platform screens. Charlieboy making his way technically ahead, technically just a little behind if we only observe the individual stage. So hot on his heels depending on how you look at it, but technically a whole stage ahead, as Zneip still has to deal with the Woodman stage, whereas this is Charlieboy's 8th Robot Master. So after this stage, Charlieboy will be moving on to the Wily stages with a rather comfortable lead. Zneip using those item 2s on the crash climb, helping him boost himself a little bit further up the ladders, because of course jumping upwards is always faster than climbing upwards. Both of our runners making excellent use of those item 2s. Zneip making sure to grab that E-Tank. They don't really need the 1-up up here. They've gotten a couple of 1-ups on their way through so far, so they're probably good in that respect. But them E-Tanks, they are everything sometimes. Definitely want to grab all of them that you can on your way through the randomizer. You just never know which boss is going to be the one that is super punishing. And we found Crash Man in the Crash Man boss room. He's not particularly jumpy though. This is good. This is very good. Zneip was able to dish out the damage, I mean, with taking minimal damage themselves. Is this even randomized? Yesn't. Alright. Zneip is through and on their way through to their 8th Robot Master, which is going to be Woodman, one of the longer stages, so this is a decent lead on Charlieboy's end, who is through his 8th Robot Master and on his way into the Wily stages. I'm sorry, did I say Wily? I meant River City Ransom Guy. I should have known. I always forget his name. But we are moving right on in. What? There is no castle. We're just making up stages. But no, as we are in Wily 1, we are once again approaching the time to play our favorite game, wherein we guess not only the color and the weakness of the dragon boss, but also the style. Unfortunately, I don't remember all of the styles where I would lay them out, but get your guesses out there. I am personally going to once again go for a Buster Week Swaggin' Dragon. As for the color, I'm gonna say that brownish color of the platforms that Charlieboy was just walking over. That weird brownish color. We're going with that. I'm seeing some very good guesses. I see blue shades Buster. All right. Tom supporting the lemons here. I love it. Charlieboy having a little bit of difficulty with these tellies and these gyro guys, but hopefully he won't need to use an E-Tank. I don't know if he even has one at this point, to be perfectly honest. And that slow rising item 1, you gotta use them just a little bit differently. Oh, Charlieboy trying to get clever with the flash stopper there, and it worked. Or flash stopper, that's Mega Man 4. This is time stopper? Whatever. Stopping time there, but unfortunately taking the bonk from the lemon and having to use the E-Tank there. Very unfortunate, especially because with this boss, it's more likely for you to fall to your death than to take damage. Or at least take heavy damage. But we have us some kind of green-looking dragon guy there. I didn't see any green guesses in the chat. Charlieboy once again with the quick crash bomber weakness. Having a good final shot too to deal multiple hits in a single shot. That was very nicely done. Moving on to Wily 2 as Zneip is moving into Wily 1 himself. So we've got almost the, I don't want to say opposite, that's not quite the right word that I'm looking for, but almost the opposite of what we had last time, where at this point last time we had just under a stage of difference between our runners, whereas this time we have just over a stage of difference between our runners. A fairly comfortable lead in Charlieboy's position here. We'll see if he can manage to hang on to it. Zneip is doing their best to catch up, and those item 2 strats there, those were pretty good. That was pretty good. That made up a good amount of time, I would say, but it's also going to cost quite a bit of item 2 itself, so they're going to have to stop to refill that somewhere, because of course at the beginning of Wily 2 you have no choice but to use item 2, so we'll see how they're going to approach that issue there, but they did definitely make up some time, so this is going to be interesting. Charlieboy already coming into the end here of Wily 2, getting ready to fight the Pico Pico Trash Compactor, which, once again, for those who aren't aware, not only is the sprite randomized, not only can it potentially go invisible, but the order in which they emerge is also now randomized. So, all of that pattern memorization that we've done over the last, 36 years? Forget about it. It does nothing anymore for us. And of course, Twitch.tv is the boss in this room, because why wouldn't it be? Charlieboy fishing through them weaknesses, finding charged heat to work pretty well, and he doesn't even have to charge it, which is very nice. We love when we don't have to charge heat. It makes it a truly wonderful weapon often. Zneip getting through that dragon fight while Charlieboy is just about done here. One more Pico, and there it is. That put Charlieboy pretty low on his heat weapon energy, but there'll be opportunities to deal with that in both Wily 3, 4, especially 5, and even 6 if it comes down to it. Lots of opportunities to keep weapons full here. Looks like he's going to swap immediately to that heat, which he tried on the wall there. That was pretty smart. It doesn't look like it worked, but that is something that Charlieboy has now learned as he drops into the red Kool-Aid. Don't drink it. But yeah, he's learned at least that heat is not the wall weakness, so if nothing else, when he gets to the Boo Beam fight, that he'll at least know not to try that weapon against the walls. It doesn't sound like much, but saving a menu could be the difference between win and lose sometimes. You see so many crazy things happen. It may be fairly common that we see a lead like this that is maintained from start to finish, but for anybody who hasn't been with us over the years, you'd be amazed at just how quickly the biggest lead could completely turn, and it could be over the smallest, weirdest of things. Alright, here comes our boss, which is once again the Technodrome. Probably my favorite addition, honestly, overall, to the randomizer, other than the instant refills, I think is the Technodrome itself. That is a wonderful, beautiful thing, and I can't imagine the randomizer without it. After having seen it with it, I can't imagine it without it. So here we go into Wily 4. Charlieboy's going to opt not to grab those early weapon energy refills, and he's got chandeliers here in his way, but ooh, trying to use those item 3s to boost himself up just a little bit further on this ladder. Got a little bit of lag-phibians. Not making too much lag there, though. That wasn't bad. And now we got our randomized false floors. While Zneip is looking at... I think they're using bubble lead against the Pico Pico there. Looks like it's working fairly well. Not bad at all. Not as good as that charged heat weakness, but it's using less weapon energy, which could help out later on. We'll see how that pans out. Charlieboy at the top of Wily 4 here, moving over and getting ready to drop down into those anxiety rooms. Is it bubble lead or bubble lead? Oh, you know, that's a really good question. I think it's lead, but I could easily be wrong. I could easily be wrong. I've heard supporting arguments for both. I don't remember the argument for lead other than the bubble, like, walks or whatever, you know, that it could be either. It's whatever you want it to be, that's what's canon. Alright, Charlieboy at the bottom of Wily 4 now on the right side, got some Shreks, and he's gonna use them to advantage to fill up some stuff here. Also, swapping back to Buster and taking some damage, but nothing crazy there. Alright, gonna go on in, and looks like we're gonna immediately start seeing what things are weak to by firing stuff at the boo beams, firing stuff at the walls. We gotta find something that heckin' works here. Looks like we got, I think that's Metal Blade that's working on the walls there. Very good, Charlie's cleared all the walls. And finding Buster to be the boo beam trap's weakness. Little mash heavy, but not bad. Not bad. We like it when it's the Buster. We really do. It's so helpful because, I mean, all you do is just press the B button a lot, but like on top of that, you're saving weapon energy that normally, like you're used to having to use that weapon energy because the boss is so commonly not Buster weak. So it's a little bit of an advantage there, not even having to worry about weapon energy pickups on entering Wily 5 here, getting right into the meat of it. Already getting through Flash Man and moving on through these Robot Masters, going counterclockwise again. Runners love to debate whether counterclockwise or clockwise is the true method. Personally, I'm a clockwise fan, but I mean, to each their own. I don't take offense to people going the other way. My personal reason is I think since you're already facing right, it just makes sense to go right. That's just me. But since the objective is to move to the right typically, starting on the left could equally make just as much sense. It's very much runner preference, and I don't think we're even talking about a difference of even a frame here, if I'm not mistaken, because either way we're jumping when Mega Man lands after ready, right? So you like clockwise, but in Rando you often start in one corner, then head to the next if you really need to refill a low weapon. And that's a valid strategy too. The nature of the randomizer definitely, it can put you in that position where you're low on a lot of things by the time you get here. And so you need to prioritize refills over actual bosses themselves. And that's legit. It's honestly legit. It's a nice mix-up of things, honestly. I like it. I like it when we have our established norms and the randomizer says no to those norms. I love that in particular. Speaking of the randomizer, here we are. Through all those randomized boss battles, all the refights are done. We are on the Wily machine here, which is also randomized. I don't know what it is, but we got Kunio in there, because of course he's the big bad evil guy this time. Charlieboy finding weaknesses for both phases relatively quick and getting out of there nice and safe. Zneip still has, I think, a few refights left. Not bad, honestly, considering what the gap was just a level or two ago. This is actually pretty good. Charlieboy going to once again attempt to set up for the item 1 zip, but those item 1s are really slow moving. That would have taken more time than it would have been worth. So he's going to opt to just use Flashman's weapon and just stop these slime things so he can proceed on through relatively stop-free. Nah, we're not going to see a 28 here. We're not going to see a 28, but we could sub 30 again. I think sub 30 is on the table. Alright, we got Hulk Hogan from Suburban Commando as the final boss here. That is a very old reference. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, consider yourself lucky. Charlieboy fishing for that weakness. Looks like he's got it, though. I'm not quite sure what he's using. I want to say it's Bubble, though. It was Bubble. It was Bubble. Is this even heckin' randomized? But I did call it. I didn't curse anybody today. I did good. I called it. We got another sub 30. Charlieboy has finished in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 29:28. Once again, a very impressive time. GG's to Charlieboy, taking round 3 of the bottom bracket of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. And we're just gonna hope for a nice, strong finish from Zneip here, who's only got, I think this is their final refight here, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little hard to see due to the colors that the randomizer picked for this stage, everything just being in darkness. But yeah, that was it. That was the final one. On to the machine fight here. Let's go. Let's see, trying that metal blade, not finding much success. Trying Crash Bomb, another common W. Nut Buster. There we go. I have no idea what they were using, but it worked. I couldn't make out what the behavior of that weapon was at all. There was a lot of sprite flickering and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. They're through. Nice and easy peasy. We like a good Wily Machine fight. Wasn't expecting a Suburban Commando reference today. I haven't seen that in like 30 years. Same. But the final boss of this game just always reminds me of it anyway. Oh, Charlieboy joining us here in the booth. GG's. You can't hear me.
Okay, now I should be able to hear you.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah. I commentated last night, so I had my my headphones. I routed the audio from Discord to the headphones, but now I'm not wearing my headphones. So, but regardless, what's up, Kame?
Oh, not much, man. Just enjoying this wonderful match. You guys put on a heck of a show tonight. GG's for the double sub 30 tonight. Today, whatever it is.
Yes, yeah, man. I buckled down. I mean, I doubled down on strategies that that I know, and then I kind of like focused on that and just cut out kind of the fat or the oh, I can get an extra time save here and this looks cool type thing, you know.
We definitely had noticed a little bit of that, and it was very nice to see some of it. We also saw little bits of attempts at things that had to be foregone. In particular, the final zip of the game in Wily 6 there looked like in this seed in particular, the item 1 was just a little too slow rising, and it looked difficult to make it happen. But I think you made the right choice in just foregoing it and getting through there. You did have a comfortable enough lead to mess with it for a while, but there's no sense in doing that just to potentially soft lock. So
no such thing as a comfortable lead when it comes to competitive Mega Man 2 Randomizer. What's up, Zneip? GG's, my man.
GG's, Zneip. Welcome on in.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think Zneip actually got me in the winter when he beat me in the winter side. He bested my PB, like, and I have a 28-28 for a PB, so like he beat me there. So like, dude, I was just like, there ain't no way I'm doing anything extra. I'm just going straight for the jugular.
I gotta say the consistency in you guys' times tonight was pretty impressive, honestly. Like Charlieboy, you had a 29:37 on the first one, a 29:28. I mean, we're talking 9 seconds of difference here. Zneip, you had a 31:50 on the first one and a 31:56 on the second one, a 6-second difference. And admittedly, these two seeds were quite remarkably different from one another. So to see the consistency like that is honestly downright impressive. So GG's on that for sure to both of you guys. Zneip, I did have one question on your thoughts. I didn't manage to write anything else down because I was too busy yapping about what was going on the screen. But I remember, I don't know if you remember in race 1, that heat stage, the fan fiends early on. What do you think about that? And did you learn anything you think you might carry with you in the future if you encounter that again?
And I should have found a better weapon for those bats, and then I could have done the item 1 zip. That was what I was trying to do, but I messed it up. And then I tried to go with the time stopper, and I fell into lava, and everything just went to
Yeah, I mean it happens to the best of us. It's a really nasty combo to have Buster immune fan fiends, and I mean bats until they move, they're Buster immune no matter what anyway. So I am familiar with the struggle, and I have done worse in tournament situations myself. So don't feel too bad, really. It's legitimately rough. It's not like yeah, there's always something you could have done to mitigate and get through, but the more we look into that stuff, the more precise and ridiculous it gets. So no, don't even feel bad about it. Honestly, that was a rough one. That was a rough one for sure. But like I said, that was kind of the only thing I managed to write down because I was just talking so much through the match. So I leave it to you guys' discretion. Was there anything particularly noteworthy in either of those seeds that you wanted to talk about? Anything like it could be good, it could be bad, it could just be funny. Anything noteworthy on either of your ends?
Air first. Yeah.
I spent about 40 seconds finding a decent stage on the first seed, because got wood, and I reset, got crash, reset, got Heatman, and then reset, and then I was all out.
Oh, that's right. You were resetting the second one. I was going to ask what that was about. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot.
I reset the wood in the second, but the first one I reset 3 times. So.
That's fair. The first one I missed the beginning of the first race. I wasn't quite here in time for it, unfortunately. But yeah, I was confused at first, but that's a me issue because I always play Buster only, so I just kind of deal with whatever I'm dealt. I forgot resetting like that is even a thing. I was like, oh no, what happened? But no, that's all good. It only cost a couple seconds too. So it was real quick. It was good.
Yeah, air first wasn't exactly ideal, but I stuck with it. I was like, what would Kame do? No.
What would Kame do? That's what you gotta ask yourself.
He would just go straight for the. He'd go straight for it no matter what, because that's what he does. I wouldn't have done that on Crash because I'm not crazy, but or Heat. But I believe the first seed I did wood first, and then the second seed I did air first, which I wasn't a fan of really. Or did I do wood first? I don't recall. Maybe that was the other night against RSPC. But one of the, not ideal stages first, but I was like, I'm just going to get them out of the way. Maybe I'll get an item. Maybe I won't. But I didn't want to do any extra fishing. Like, Heat and Crash is like my, okay, I'll reset. And if I'm feeling ish kind of about it, I'm like, okay, maybe wood or air. I don't feel like doing them right this second. I'll reset, but otherwise I'm trying to not reset and just because that is like a 10-second time loss. But you know, I mean, weighing it out, I mean, is it better? Could it be more of a time loss to stay in those stages? Yes, in theory, but I mean, I have confidence in my skills mostly. Speaking of skills, I'm going to have to like brush up on Zipless really good because I know who's next. Mr. Zipless King, old Siberian Bull 9.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you're going to have to brush up on it. Them zips are real nice when you have them, and it's funny, you know, the same game, but just making that one little stipulation changes so much about how you have to approach everything, and you got to fight your own muscle memory to not do the zips, because some of them are really easy to just go ahead and do, like for example Heatman stage. I think that's one that I've messed up in the past on a zipless, where you get to the Yokus and you just want to do the A trigger real quick naturally to get through it, you know, and it just whoops, it's zipless, that's right.
Well, luckily enough, you know, the leftward wall ejection is a thing. I don't know how it acts with that Yoku though. I don't remember my testing on it and how it acts exactly. But if that Yoku comes up and you're standing there, I do know it'll eject you left. Period.
Yes,
And
yes,
you
it will.
will end up in the pit if you're standing there when that Yoku pops up.
And that is sufficient punishment, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to mess around with it since the left ejection was added for zipless. That's
You might still be able to be ejected right if you, I guess, jump on the right frame when it appears. But I highly recommend not standing there in zipless at all.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a harsh death, harsher than many of the other ones. Maybe not the worst, but close. What is it? It's something like 35 or 40 seconds or something like that. If you died in that one,
Something like that, man. Those heat
It's
pillars
rough.
and stuff. I'm gonna have to brush up on no item heat stage because that's definitely like a time sink, or it can be. So.
Well, you did get to brush up a little bit on it during this seed because, as I recall, you didn't have item 2 coming up to the pit there, so you at least got to do the standard Yokus there, and I noticed you you had to do a pause buffer there to catch yourself because you almost went into the pit, actually.
Yeah, that's like child's play standard Yoku blah blah blah, right? But I mean, I'm talking about the pillars. It's like the back half of the stage is fine. Don't worry about that one. Like, or mostly not worried about that one, right? I mean, of course, there's the danger of dying there anyway. But I'm talking about the pillars, like that slow section with all those brutal enemies, no matter what it is, and like. If you have to take the section, it's either you want item 1 or item 2 as your friend, and if you don't have those, then yeah, you gotta be on point to get through it, you know.
I guess I'm too used to it, so I might be the worst commentator for any percent because I just am like, oh look, he's got an item, that's cool.
I mean, it's like I do this first try every try.
I have to. I have to, otherwise I lose by a lot more than usual.
But GG's to Zneip, nevertheless, man. Much appreciate you joining the tournament. And I mean, A4th is very respectable. I mean, there was nothing but killers in this tournament. Everybody was dangerous, you know. This tournament could have went any way, every way, and did, if you ask me. But yeah, GG's, man.
GG's.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know, Kami, you got anything else for us?
You know, I wish I did, but I honestly don't. It was good runs. You guys did great. Like I said, the consistency, I'm impressed by that alone. Thanks for putting on a good show, y'all.
Yeah, much appreciated. And do my best.
And doing commentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
big
glad
shout out to you.
Glad I was able to hop in and do it. You know, it was a real close call. I didn't even notice who was running. I just knew there was a match today, so I was just like, "Hey, at Charlieboy, I'm here." I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, he's running."
I sure was.
You sure were. Well, you did a good job of it too. Alrighty, so yeah, that's all I've got personally, other than the usual shout-outs, of course. LV Creed handling the tracker, SpeedGaming, of course, for all that they do. Charlieboy, this year it's your tournament, right? Last year was Bulls, this one's you, right?
That's correct.
Well,
Yes,
shout out to you.
I came out of retirement to make sure that we still had a tournament this year.
Excellent. You know, it's been a crazy year and a half for everybody. So I think I probably speak for a majority when I say that we appreciate you coming out of retirement to help put on the shows for everybody, because it's really nice to be able to catch these when able, and of course participating in any capacity is also fun when possible. So thank you as well. Shout outs to Maturino for being Maturino. I got no other real shout outs, I'm sorry, but since you're the organizer, I'll let you close us out with your usual spiel here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, big shout outs to Kame Sinen for commentating this match. Big shout outs to LV Creed for tracking in the background, and whoever else might have synced the timers or whatever the case may be. Big shout outs to you. yeah, follow the randomizer, follow the runners, follow the commentators. Yeah, our Matcherino guys, we were second place. We did make the cutoff to be top 3, so we got the $500 pot bonus. We're second place currently with $1,500 in the pot. It goes to top 3. The splits are 65, 25, 15, I think, or 60, 25, 15 for first, second, third. So good stuff to that, and big shout out to SpeedGaming for allowing us to continue to host tournaments here on their network with SpeedGaming Live. And yeah, other than that, I think that's all for me. GG's to Zneip, and thank you everybody for watching. See you guys next time.
Thank you, everybody, and good night.